Hello, and welcome to another episode of Josh's Journeys. Today I'll be speaking about my experiences as someone on the autistic spectrum disorder, specifically Asperger's syndrome, and how I've come to view the world. Um, I know it's different for so many people on the spectrum. We have different values in how we see things. Um, but for me, being diagnosed a little bit later in life, I wasn't until I was 24 properly diagnosed. So it creates a lot of situations that you wish you could have avoided if you had known what you were facing. Um, I think that's the most difficult nature of all is you don't think that what you're doing is wrong, but because of how your mind works, you start perceiving everything around you uh, as you have to be this perfect individual, that you can't make a mistake, you can't share in your emotions. Some things that people may see as cruel or um, a lot of it's misguided because it's not a matter of the cruelty of it all. It's a matter of that misunderstanding, that disconnect. Um, I have it to where I can say something and communicate it out, but it can be taken completely differently from what I was stating, and also what that person's perception was, because that's not what I'm trying to create. And I know exactly it's how we say things and how we do things, but it's also getting people to adapt to you and understand that dynamically you're not doing it intentionally. You just want that part of clarity, that willingness to listen to what you have to say because you want to feel your significance, and at times you feel like you can be insecure about yourself. You can be lost in your own thoughts. I know exactly when stress gets me, I kind of go into my own world. Um, and my family knows exactly that I do that. And it's usually my same sets of fears. And I not necessarily fears, but deep seated anxiety. And that's the problem that I face is relegating my anxiety. Um, but I use a lot of different techniques to help me, whether it's meditation, music, exercise. I have to keep on my structure routine. Um, I find things to desensitize myself away from the things that cause me the anxiety. Um, so if I'm thinking about, for me, it's in general, it's school, and school is a stress for so many people. But it's just one of those things to where I have to say that I'm doing my best. I'm putting my best foot forward, and I have to accept it. But my mind will ruminate um, for hours, and that's what makes it so difficult to get to sleep so easily. And night times can be very difficult for me. Just knowing that you have so much on your brain, your mind still keeps on going, and um, that's a difficult thing because you're trying to find every solution to slow your mind down, um, so that you can balance your emotions in a way that's going to be conducive to getting the best possible um, anxiety reducing opportunities, because it can be crippling. If you've known what extreme anxiety can be, it's debilitating. You don't feel like you have control. You feel like you're lost. You feel like um, something bad is going to happen, even though it's not. But I've had experiences to where my anxiety was so bad that I went into the emergency room thinking I had a heart attack. Um, and it's gotten to points to where I felt that I wasn't safe. And there are times I would communicate that out, and um, it was very stressful for me because for a long time I couldn't talk in those emotions because it was scary for me. And um, but I learned how to push through those things, and really, it's building that trust network. People that know exactly what you face, um, know that, and you have to know that you're not doing it alone, because it's hard to do it alone. I did it for so long because I didn't want to cause issues for people. Um, I felt like it was important to change those dynamics. I just didn't know how. But it takes the right set of people to understand that, and a willingness of you to look at things and be okay with people seeing you for who you are. Um, it's it happens to where sometimes you're thinking something before it even comes up, and then you realize that you're just way too hard on yourself. Um, it's only because you want to learn what you want to learn, and you want to grow through those experiences, but um, it's sometimes hard to ask for help. But that's the most important quality to have, a willingness to use your tools even though you face your sets of challenges. You are not your sets of challenges. You can grow through these experiences, but you have to have a willingness to let go, a willingness to let people in, um, and not let people determine your voice. Uh, when people call things out against you, learn how to modulate how you respond to those things. Um, you don't have to be you don't have to be what people want you to be. You can be yourself. You can be your genuine, authentic self. And that's the one thing I've always wanted to be is have people see exactly who Joshua is. Um, because I didn't know who I was, because um, maybe it's just like I didn't see exactly a time to where I was stable. Um, but I've had so much stability for so long that I just want to improve. I just want to get better. The more I analyze things around me, I keep on growing. Anything I want to learn, I use my obsessive nature. Now, people may say that obsessiveness is not beneficial. I disagree. If you know how to use your obsessives to your benefit, you can do so much. I've taught myself so many things by figuring it out. I don't give up on what's in front of me. I'm gonna figure out what it is, and I'm gonna be better about it. So I've learned so many things about the world around me, and you want the world around you to reflect exactly how you feel. Um, and it's a matter of, I believe in caring for people, being kind, um, diminishing our biases, and working to solve issues for one another, a level of compromise, a level of understanding, a level of patience, a willingness to agree to disagree, to see each other as people collectively, and not take away each individual's perspective. Um, we've become so reactionary as a society, and I see that what we are doing to one another is unhealthy. Um, just because we have our disagreements in how we see the world doesn't mean that that person is a bad person. What we've done is we've really lost a sense of decency. And decency is such a vital part in who we are as the people that we are. Um, no one wants to be seen as destructive against a society that is in need of repairing. Um, I want to see a kinder world. I want to be more involved in making a difference in the world that we have. Um, and we have to get past a lot of the things that separate us, because we have more things that connect us than separate us. And our families are important. Um, and also, we have to be able to be honest with ourselves, be honest with our friends, our family, and really just share who we are. We don't communicate enough about these things. We want to solve so many problems of each other's problems, yet we have to only focus on what we can solve. Um, no one can speak for another person. They have to be able to speak for themselves. Um, and it's one of those things that, yeah, I know that I need assistance, and I probably will need assistance most of my life, but I'm okay with that. Um, in different ways, I can still be functional and independent, but I know that there are just certain things that are not my strengths. Um, Traveling is one of those things that's a difficult thing for me. If I travel, typically it's not very far from my location. I only drive because I have to, not because I like to. Um, and it brings me quite a bit of anxiety. If I don't know where I'm going, um, I'm still dependent on GPS in most places. Um, so I might need assistance with getting assistance with travel, but that's not a bad thing. Not everyone should be on the roads like me, but I'm okay with that. Um, so we all have our sets of anxieties, and we also have our thought processes that we just want understood. It can be difficult because sometimes we repeat ourselves, not doing it for the function of repeating, but because we didn't realize that we had already talked about that point. And so that's what it's like in my experience as living on the ASD spectrum. Um, Thanks for watching, and leave any message, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible.